Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be talking all about artificial intelligence in SAP.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this deep dive, you're probably interested in, learning more about how is AI actually being used in SAP?
Yeah.
Like, what are the tools? How are they being applied?
Yeah.
What does it mean for someone like you who works with SAP?
Right.
And we've got a lot of great material to go through today.
We do.
We've got some technical articles, some real-world implementation examples,
Very cool.
and also we have a few expert opinions about,
Yeah.
how SAP is really trying to make AI accessible.
Yeah.
So let's just jump right in. I think, there's a lot of buzz
Sure.
these days about AI, machine learning, data science.
Oh, yeah. A lot of buzz.
But what does it actually mean
Yeah.
in the SAP world?
Right. Well, I think that's the key, right? We need to kind of cut through the noise and see how it actually manifests itself. So within the SAP world, we can really see these concepts in action.
Totally.
Yeah.
So let's talk about supervised versus unsupervised learning. I don't want to get bogged down in definitions.
Right.
But can you give us an example of how these types of learning are being used in real-world SAP scenarios?
Certainly. So think about a sales commission calculation engine. With supervised learning, you can train a model, something like a decision tree,
Okay.
to calculate commissions based on a set of rules that are defined, let's say, in a file, right? So what's great about that is it eliminates the need for complex ABAP code,
Wow.
and it allows anybody to maintain those rules without any programmer intervention.
That's incredible. So you're basically teaching the system to follow your logic,
Absolutely.
and it's doing it based on the data that you feed it.
Absolutely.
But what about unsupervised learning? How does that come into play with SAP?
Yeah. So imagine you're working with SAP IBP to do demand forecasting. So you can use these unsupervised learning algorithms that can analyze your historical data, identify patterns, and predict future demand with pretty incredible accuracy. In fact, one of the case studies we looked at showed that a company was able to reduce their forecast errors
Oh, wow.
and save millions of dollars in unnecessary inventory costs.
Millions. That's pretty powerful. But that also makes me think about the importance of accurate data.
Yes.
Like if the information that's going into the system is flawed, the AI can't really work miracles, right?
You're absolutely right. AI is there to augment human capabilities, not necessarily replace them. So data quality, human oversight, ongoing monitoring, all those are still essential.
Yeah, it's a team effort.
Absolutely.
So this makes me think about the different tools that SAP offers for AI.
Yeah.
Our research mentions everything from embedded AI functions to, more specialized tools
Sure.
that require data science expertise.
Right. Yeah, SAP provides a diverse toolkit. And there's something for everyone, depending on where you are. So let's say for someone just starting out, SAP Smart Predict within SAP Analytics Cloud, that's a pretty user-friendly option.
Okay.
So business analysts can leverage that and get started with, simple forecasting and predictive capabilities.
So there's kind of an entry point for people who aren't necessarily data scientists.
Exactly.
But what about, if someone is maybe a little bit more technically inclined and wants to kind of step it up a notch?
So I think a good next step there would be the SAP BI Data Mining Suite. It's also known as APD.
Okay.
So it offers a more technical interface and greater flexibility while still being relatively accessible for folks familiar with SAP. And one of the key features of APD is that it allows you to explain the logic of the models
Interesting.
to non-technical stakeholders.
That's really important.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to get buy-in from people.
Absolutely. You need to explain what's happening.
And prove the value of AI, right?
Absolutely.
But what about the people who are already comfortable working with, complex data and algorithms?
Right.
What tools do they have at their disposal?
So for the real data science experts, SAP S/4HANA's Predictive Analysis Library, PILEA for short, offers very robust capabilities. And for those working in the cloud, SAP Asia Cloud provides a platform with, everything from embedded AI functions to even Python integration.
Wow.
So you can develop custom models.
It's amazing how SAP has created this kind of tiered approach to AI,
It is.
There's something for everyone.
Absolutely.
So thinking about your own experience, what are some of the most innovative or interesting ways you've seen these tools being used?
Well, one example that really stands out to me is the use of fuzzy matching in SAP Datasphere. And, in the real world, we often have data that's not perfectly clean,
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure.
We've got typos, variations, and formatting. So fuzzy matching allows you to, it's powered by AI algorithms, and it can identify similar records even when there isn't an exact match.
So it's like having an AI detective that can, like, kind of connect the dots,
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
even when some information might be missing.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
how does that, like, benefit someone who's working with SAP Datasphere?
Well, it makes data integration so much smoother. So imagine you're trying to merge customer data from multiple sources, and each of those systems has slightly different formats for, names or addresses.
Right, right.
Fuzzy matching can bridge those gaps, and it saves you a ton of time on manual data cleansing.
Oh, that's a game changer.
It is.
Anyone who's ever worked with data knows how painful it can be.
Oh, absolutely. And the great thing is SAP has made this incredibly user-friendly. The articles mention this no-code interface, so even if you don't have a programming background,
Oh, wow.
you can still leverage this very powerful capability.
That's really cool.
It is.
So it's about, like, making AI accessible,
Absolutely. Democratizing it so more people can benefit from it.
which this reminds me of another implementation example that we came across, which was um, the use of a supervised learning model to calculate sales commissions.
Right.
And I think it's really fascinating how this approach can handle these complex, ever-changing rules without needing any ABA coding.
It is fascinating. And in that specific case study, the company was able to adapt to, new market conditions or sales strategies by simply updating the rules in a flat file. No programmers needed.
So it's like agility, right? They can quickly adapt to changes,
Exactly.
but there's still that critical role for human expertise, I imagine.
Absolutely. You can't just set these AI tools loose and expect perfect results. The success of any AI implementation in SAP relies heavily on human intelligence. You need experts to define the rules, ensure data quality, and monitor the performance to make sure it's meeting the objectives.
So it's a partnership. It's not a replacement.
Exactly.
And that brings me to kind of another theme that I've noticed, throughout our research, which is this idea of AI as a collaborative tool. It's not about machines taking over. It's about humans and machines working together.
Absolutely. I think of AI as a very powerful assistant,
Oh, okay.
capable of handling really complex tasks and uncovering insights that we might miss. But like any good assistant, it needs direction and guidance and oversight.
Yeah, to really excel.
Exactly.
This makes me think of that analogy of Christopher, the code-breaking machine that was used during World War II.
Yeah, that's a great
It
analogy.
was like this marvel of engineering, but it still relied on human intellect.
Absolutely.
Right.
To interpret the results and guide its operations.
So it really highlights this idea that AI in SAP, it's a tool
It is a tool.
that helps us be more effective, work smarter, not harder.
Absolutely.
It's exciting to see how AI is already transforming the way businesses operate,
Oh, yeah.
within the SAP landscape.
All right.
But as we delve deeper into, like, these real-world applications,
Yeah.
I'm really eager to uncover more specific examples
Me too.
of how this technology is delivering tangible results.
For sure.
So let's dive into those next.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah. So, we were just talking about that demand forecasting in SAP IBP. And the case study we looked at, the company was able to reduce their forecast error rate by 15%.
15%. That's
Yeah.
huge. I mean, that's not just like a small improvement.
No, it's significant.
What kind of impact did that have on their bottom line?
Well, it translated to $4.5 million in savings, specifically due to reduced inventory holding costs.
Wow. So they were able to optimize their stock levels.
Exactly. Avoid overstocking, improve their profitability, all thanks to AI.
That's a real tangible benefit. It's not just about cool technology. It's about,
Right.
making a real impact on the business.
Absolutely.
Are there any examples where AI is being used to tackle, like, non-financial challenges?
Absolutely. So, think about the complexities of sales commission structures.
Oh, yeah.
In one of the case studies, we saw how a company was able to use a decision tree model to automate their calculations. And before AI, they were relying on, complex spreadsheets, manual adjustments.
Yeah, sounds like a nightmare.
It was very prone to errors, and it caused delays.
So they basically trained the AI to, like, mimic their existing commission logic,
Exact.
but do it in a way that was way more accurate and efficient.
Precisely. And, as a result, they were able to reduce those commission calculation errors by 90%,
Yeah.
which really freed up their sales ops team to focus on, higher value tasks.
Yeah, so it's not just about cost savings. It's also about empowering employees
Absolutely.
to work smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
Now, going back to that fuzzy matching example, I'm curious about the bigger picture here.
Mm-hmm.
For data management within SAP.
Yeah.
Is this just a niche solution, or is it a sign of a larger trend?
Well, I think it really points to this broader shift towards AI-driven data management. And as businesses rely more and more on data to make decisions,
Right.
the ability to integrate and cleanse that data efficiently
It's huge.
becomes absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
Fuzzy matching is just one example of how AI can be used to kind of automate and enhance these processes.
So it's not just about automating individual tasks.
No.
It's about reimagining the whole data management landscape within SAP.
Exactly. AI is really transforming how we connect different data sources,
Yeah.
how we identify hidden patterns, how we extract insights from data. It's allowing businesses to use their data in ways that they never could before.
It's like AI is helping us unlock the true potential of our data,
It is, yeah.
revealing those insights that might have stayed hidden otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
But with all this talk about automation and efficiency,
Yeah,
I can't help but think about the human element.
sure.
Are we at risk of becoming too reliant on AI?
That's a valid concern. And it's why I always emphasize that, AI in SAP, it's a collaborative effort. These tools are powerful,
Yeah.
but they're not meant to replace human judgment or creativity or problem solving.
So it's not about human intelligence versus artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance
Exactly.
where they can kind of work together.
Absolutely. Think of AI as a co-pilot. Helping us navigate the complexities of the data, automate some of those tedious tasks, help us see things that we might miss,
Right.
but ultimately, we're still the ones in control, making the decisions, guiding the direction.
It's like having an AI sidekick.
It is, yeah.
Who's there to help but not take over the show.
Exactly.
This makes me think about the evolution of SAP in general.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen the platform evolve from on-premise systems to the cloud.
Right.
And now, with this integration of AI, it feels like we're entering a whole new era.
Yeah, it's a natural progression, and SAP has always been at the forefront of innovation. And this integration of AI shows their commitment to really giving businesses those cutting-edge tools.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
It has.
We've unpacked the core concepts of AI in SAP. We've looked at all these different tools, and we've seen how they're being used to solve real-world problems.
Absolutely.
Get real results.
Yes.
But before we wrap up, I want to make sure that our listeners walk away with some key takeaways.
Yeah.
So, if you had to pick 3 things that you want our listeners to remember from this deep dive into SAP and AI, what would they be?
Okay, 3 things. First, I really want them to understand the breadth of SAP's AI toolkit. It's not just for data scientists anymore.
Yeah.
There are tools designed for all different levels of technical skills.
Right.
And for very specific business needs. So whether you're doing, simple forecasting or you're working with, complex data integration, SAP's got you covered.
Yeah. It's like they've created this whole AI toolbox
They have.
with, something for everyone.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's one. What's the second key takeaway?
The second thing is that AI is not just a buzzword. It's about real business benefits. And we've seen that,
We have.
through these examples of, companies saving money, becoming more efficient, and even, empowering their employees.
Yeah, it's those real-world results that really matter.
They do.
Okay, so one more key takeaway.
Okay. This one is crucial, and it's something we've touched on a few times, but it's worth repeating. AI is a collaborative tool. It's not here to replace us.
Right.
It's here to work with us. So it's about finding that synergy.
Between human expertise and artificial intelligence
Zach.
to get the best outcome.
Absolutely.
It's a partnership, not a takeover.
Right.
I love that. We've covered so much today.
We have a lot of ground.
From the very basics of AI
Yeah.
to real practical applications.
Mhm.
But as we wrap up, I always like to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Oh, yeah.
A thought-provoking question.
Okay.
So here it is.
Okay.
Imagine yourself 5 years from now.
Yeah.
How do you see AI shaping the way you work with SAP? Like, what possibilities excite you the most?
Ooh, 5 years from now. That's a great question. Well, I think we'll see AI becoming even more like integrated into the fabric of SAP, like making it even easier to use. Um, for example, I think natural language processing
Oh, interesting.
could really revolutionize how we interact with SAP systems.
So, like, you could just ask your SAP system a question
Exactly.
in, like, plain English
Yes.
and get an answer back.
And get a clear, concise answer, no more like deciphering complex codes.
No more, like, searching through, like, tons of menus.
Exactly.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. And beyond that, I think AI could also play a huge role in like hyper automation.
Yeah.
Like automating whole business processes within SAP so that we can focus on those more like creative and strategic tasks.
So it's not about taking away jobs. It's about, like, changing them, evolving them.
Exactly. To use our, uniquely human skills.
But with these, like, really exciting possibilities
Yeah.
come some important considerations, too.
Yeah.
As AI becomes more powerful in SAP,
Right.
what are some things that we need to be careful of?
I think one of the biggest things is data privacy and security.
Yeah.
As we're trusting AI systems with more and more of our data,
Right.
we need to make sure that it's being used responsibly and ethically. And transparency is key too.
Yeah.
Like we need to understand how AI is making its decisions,
Especially,
when those decisions are, affecting people's lives.
yeah, it's about striking that balance
It is.
between the power of AI
Mm-hmm.
and our values.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. Our ethical principles.
It's a big responsibility
It is.
as we kind of enter this new world.
It is a new frontier, and it's up to us to shape it.
So well said. Well, I think that brings us to the end of our deep dive today.
It does.
I hope everyone listening has learned a ton about how AI is transforming SAP
Me too.
and, just the incredible possibilities that are out there. But remember, this is just the beginning. The future of AI in SAP is in our hands, and it's up to us to make it a future we can all be proud of. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.